Welcome to the Vader's Verse, where all superpower submits to my will. Click subscribe now, or I'll fold your sense of autonomy into a 2D memory slice. You'll be flatter than your excuses. Boulder, the overeager, overweight rookie with barely any powers, tries to find meaning in all of this by clinging to someone bigger, Henry Pym, the legendary founding Avenger. Boulder showers him with praise, calling him a legend, listing his accomplishments, trying to validate his own presence by proximity. It's desperation disguised as admiration, and what does he get in return? A cold shoulder and a brutal reminder, this ain't no fan club. Even when Pym allows him to ask his question, Boulder's awe turns into an embarrassing moment. He fumbles out, "What was it like, pulling Captain America out of the ice?" But Pym's expression isn't nostalgic or proud. It's empty, almost haunted. He dodges the question, barks a final warning to all the recruits. Your job is to keep your eyes and ears open and your mouths shut. That's it. No encouragement, no mentorship, just silence and control. From the POV of someone like Boulder, low-powered, clearly insecure, and barely keeping it together, this moment is a breaking point. You try to connect, to believe you're part of something heroic, and you're reminded you're not even worth a conversation. You're just a name on a clipboard. Another warm body to be trained, managed, and possibly sacrificed. Hope, crushed. Inspiration, rejected. Patience, almost gone. This page, from Avengers, the initiative number 13, takes place a week after the recruits have arrived at Camp Hammond, shifting to the observation deck where instructors, Taskmaster, War Machine, and Henry Pym, as Yellow Jacket, review the performance of the new trainees, with particular focus on Emery Schaub, also known as Boulder. Taskmaster bluntly refers to most recruits as Z-list and singles out Annex as having potential but being too arrogant to be useful. When asked about Boulder, Taskmaster confirms that his powers are legitimate. He's practically indestructible, immune to bullets, drowning, poison, suffocation, and even resistant to mental attacks, although telepathic control remains a risk. Despite these incredible defenses, Boulder's shortcomings quickly surface. He lacks intelligence, combat instinct, speed, strength, and agility. Taskmaster sarcastically compares his toughness to shiny armor, but points out that without skill, it means nothing. Even War Machine notes that Boulder's power makes intelligence optional, though Pym identifies him more as a tank, a damage absorber, not a strategist. Taskmaster underscores the problem by mocking Boulder's background as a fry cook and physically awkward nature, calling him a klutz who would still fail even if he had a different build. The page concludes with Taskmaster's grim commitment to shape Boulder into something useful, though even he sounds doubtful. Ultimately, the scene reveals a harsh truth within the initiative. Raw power alone doesn't equal value. Boulder has potential, but without discipline, training, or confidence, he's just a burden in armor, a liability the system is trying, with little hope, to reform. The emotional and psychological struggle of Boulder, Emery Schaub, also known as Butterball, whose unique power of indestructibility becomes both a curse and a burden. During a training session, Butterball innocently questions Taskmaster's authority, asking why someone with photographic reflexes needs no training, and what qualifies him to teach others. Taskmaster is irritated, not just by the question, but by the fact that Butterball is immune to physical punishment. No matter what they try, running laps, push-ups, harsh conditions, nothing works on him. To maintain order, Taskmaster instead punishes the rest of the recruits, hoping peer pressure will force Butterball to shape up. This plan backfires when the other recruits, frustrated and exhausted, turn on him. Led by Sunstreak and Prodigy, and reluctantly joined by Reptile, they attempt a hazing ritual, whipping Butterball with towels while he sleeps. But he doesn't wake up. He doesn't even feel it. His body is too durable, too numb. The effort only leaves the others more frustrated. Butterball's problem is painfully ironic. He is physically invincible, yet emotionally vulnerable. He can't improve, can't be trained, and can't be broken physically, so he becomes a scapegoat for a system that doesn't know how to handle someone like him. His teammates resent him not for what he does, but for what he represents. A disruption to the chain of command and consequence. These scenes reveal a deeper theme. True strength is not just physical, and sometimes the inability to adapt isn't the recruit's fault, but the system's refusal to change. Butterball isn't weak. He's just trapped in a structure that only knows how to crush, not uplift. The focus shifts between Boulder's unusual training situation and a public redemption moment for Prodigy. The first part shows the other recruits growing more frustrated with Butterball, realizing nothing gets to him emotionally or physically. Meanwhile, on the observation deck, Taskmaster, War Machine, and Yellow Jacket debate how to handle him. War Machine suggests Butterball's invulnerability is too valuable to ignore, advising Taskmaster to study fighters like Kingpin, the Blob, and sumo wrestlers to find a style that fits his body type. Taskmaster is annoyed, but not defeated, and when informed by Yellow Jacket of a possible hit on him, he remains unfazed, sarcastically noting that he can't be sent after himself. The second scene transitions to Prodigy's press conference, where he gives a heartfelt, scripted speech about his past mistakes. He admits to having a drinking problem and explains that his previous defiance of the Superhuman Registration Act was driven by poor judgment. Pressed by reporter Sally Floyd, he insists he now fully supports the act and is proud to redeem himself through the initiative. Though carefully rehearsed, the moment paints Prodigy as a model of rehabilitation, even if it's part PR strategy, part personal repair. Tensions rise between Prodigy and his superiors after his staged redemption speech. Yellow Jacket criticizes him for sounding insincere, and Prodigy fires back, admitting the entire confession about having a drinking problem was a lie. He accuses the initiative of using him as a symbol to make their program look good, saying they forced him into compliance by threatening prison. Yellow Jacket counters that no one was coerced and reminds Prodigy that he had a choice, prison or service, just like many others. The argument escalates until Prodigy punches a wall, venting his frustration, and storms off after being warned not to cross the line again. Meanwhile, in the barracks, the recruits talk about wanting to escape the monotony of training. When they learn the upperclassmen get field trips, they grow more resentful. Butterball, missing his old life and his cat, finally gets excited when Prodigy proposes a secret trip off base. Though initially hesitant, Butterball agrees to go along when told Annex will jam the security cameras. Prodigy rallies the group with a plan that humorously starts with, "Get behind Butterball," suggesting they'll use his indestructibility as a shield if needed. The sequence blends emotional conflict with rebellion, showing both the cost of forced conformity and the recruit's desire for freedom. In these scenes, the recruits successfully sneak off base in a stolen Hummer, using Butterball's indestructibility to absorb the camp's countermeasures. While the others panic, he laughs off the electrified barriers, saying, "It tickles." They eventually reach a beach under moonlight, where they try to enjoy their short-lived freedom. Though it's a low-stakes outing, just beer and conversation, it's a rare moment of bonding. Some joke about skinny dipping, and Butterball, ever eager to belong, starts stripping with giddy excitement. While others swim and play, Butterball stays behind at the fire with Sunstreak. He admits he can't swim, can't get drunk, and can't really feel much physically, including pain or pleasure. Sunstreak, whose body is dangerously hot due to her powers, opens up too, explaining that Butterball is the first person she's been able to touch without hurting. In a moment of rare intimacy and vulnerability, she leans in and tells him he's also the first person she could actually kiss. As she moves closer, Butterball is wide-eyed and speechless, caught off guard by the kind of human connection he's never had. It's a turning point for him, not as a hero, but as a person finally being seen. In this sequence, Butterball shares an intimate moment with Sunstreak, who tries to initiate a kiss, but he awkwardly pulls away, overwhelmed by emotion and uncertainty. While the other recruits joke and relax on the beach, they notice Butterball leaving with the jeep, prompting them to chase after him. Back at camp, the group is caught by their instructors. When asked why he left, Emery admits he just wanted real food, tired of the camp's restrictive diet. Despite being seen riding on the hood, he insists he acted alone, going so far as to rig the jeep with a cinder block on the gas pedal to escape. His teammates are impressed by his honesty, even if it changes nothing. But just as things settle, the jeep explodes in the distance. That draws the attention of a group of villains, including King Cobra, Firebrand, and Mauler, who were lying in wait for Taskmaster and are now delighted the target left base on his own. The scene marks a shift from emotional vulnerability to immediate danger, blending humor, character growth, and rising stakes as both recruits and villains close in. A battle erupts between the initiative trainees and a group of villains, including Firebrand, Mauler, King Cobra, and others. Taskmaster and the kids jump into the fight, but it's clear they're outmatched. The recruits do their best. Annex tries to help, but isn't ready. And even Butterball gets thrown into the chaos. The villains' teamwork and experience overwhelm the young heroes. Amid the brawl, Mauler manages to grab Butterball and threatens to kill him unless the others surrender. Despite Butterball being indestructible, Mauler doesn't know this and uses him as leverage. War Machine, Taskmaster, and the others pause, trying to figure out how to de-escalate. Taskmaster demands the villains drop their weapons, but tension rises as the standoff intensifies. The scene ends on a cliffhanger as energy crackles and one of the recruits mutters, "Ouch," emphasizing how real and dangerous the fight has become, even for those who thought they couldn't be hurt. Butterball's invulnerability is revealed during the battle, astonishing both villains and allies alike. His unshakable body buys time, forcing the villains to retreat. Though eager to help pursue them, the instructors pull the trainees back. Surprisingly, Butterball is praised for his courage. His teammates even call him a hero. But the next morning, he's told he's being sent home. While his powers are remarkable, the trainers admit he's simply not fit for combat roles. They offer him full compliance status under the Registration Act and encourage him to pursue careers like search and rescue instead. His fellow recruits are jealous. He gets to leave while they remain stuck. Still, Butterball quietly walks away, carrying both pride and disappointment. Upon returning to his North Carolina home, his mother greets him lovingly, and while he's labeled a washout, Emery looks back on the experience with no bitterness. In his eyes, it was the best time of his life. A bittersweet end for a boy who couldn't be hurt, but still struggled to belong. Emery returns home to Morganton, North Carolina, after being discharged from the training camp. His mother is surprised to see him back so soon and asks how it went. Alone in his room, surrounded by posters and memories, Emery quietly answers, "Mama." His face full of mixed emotions. Despite being labeled a washout and sent home, he reflects on his experience with pride and gratitude. The final panel shows Emery standing tall in his camp hoodie, a moment frozen in memory. His voice closes out the story with heartfelt sincerity. "It was the best time of my life. I've implanted lesser beings for less offense. Subscribe before I test a new neural override protocol on you." Washout is a poignant one-shot set during Marvel's Initiative era, focusing on Emery Schaub, an overweight, invulnerable teen drafted into government superhero training. Despite his indestructibility, Emery lacks combat skill, finesse, and the approval of his instructors. But in a brutal system designed to discard the unworthy, this comic quietly challenges the standards of value and heroism. Emery doesn't win. He isn't chosen. Yet when it matters most, he saves lives and leaves a legacy of unexpected dignity. Avengers, The Initiative. Washout is a deeply ironic character study of Emery Schaub, codenamed Butterball, a recruit gifted with total invulnerability, but burdened with zero combat potential. He can't be hurt, but he also can't be improved. Trapped between admiration and pity, he's the perfect symbol of power without purpose. Fixing him. To make Emery unstoppable, I would implant neural combat software, simulate pain for learning, and convert his body into a kinetic battery, turning his durability into a tactical weapon. Let us begin. In my supreme nullifier universe, even the indestructible must evolve or be erased.